Yeah. Button tags over, yeah.
See, I feel like Hibiki would be most likely the much better choice for this, just because Hibiki has a much easier way of dealing with Hazama in this matchup.
I'd agree with that to an extent. The only thing that I like about Termi in this matchup is, when he's going with Termi, is nice anti is the only thing he has, but like Hazama's whole thing is basically baiting out anti-airs and moving around them. But other than that, like, I feel like, especially when it comes to air movement and your air options, like, basically, you know, Termi's general air normals aren't very good. You have GD, but it's really too slow to be very useful in this match just because of how quickly Hazama can make up the ground. So honestly, in terms of ground game and air game, I don't really fancy Termi. It's not the worst matchup there is, but I think these will all just come down to Termi's general weaknesses, and I don't think he has anything particularly
special that he could use.
Yes! I don't think he's particularly strong or weak against Hazama.
Well, let's see how Poke like takes this matchup. Got a nice JA catch.
Yeah, we can see Euchre's best. I think we've had a very good first 10 seconds.
You gotta block that. That is... Wow, Euchre's... Drops the combo. Just throws out the EA. Pressure. Oh. Let's see.
Oh no, he missed.
Doesn't get the 236D. Yep. Okay, knockdown. What's the Oki? Catches the backdash. OD.
Oh no!
Oh, that was supposed to be J2D, but he did it too early. Oh, that's still gonna hold him. Wait. Oh yeah, because command grab scales too much. Look at that, Euchre waking up in 2A.
Look at that clean start. This is that was very intense to reset, but it didn't work out in the end.
It doesn't. His command grab scales. Wow, 5C.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Okay, doesn't block the overhead. This should take Poke to the corner. Yep. Gets caught by another air chain. Knockdown. What's the Oki?
Oh, he doesn't block.
He doesn't get the link. Euchre's getting so much mileage off these air command grab. Or air grab. Oh no!
First attempt.
Oh, it doesn't recognize the 5 units. Nice anti-air. Wow, that switch sides! Oh, that should be about like 4 to 5-ish K.
Yeah. Oh no, that's not anyone.
Oh, yeah. Very.
Yeah,
it's quite hard. It's quite hard for because PokeLegends was doing a lot of good things, but it's he just wasn't recognizing that he was getting some hits sometimes, and some of those 6As, I think he didn't want 6As sometimes, but it did come out.
I don't really know. Yeah, I can't really say much about that first game because it was all just a lot of the hits that came were just results of drops or whatever. So I kind of want to see. I mean, you can kind of think of that as a warm-up game. It's 1-0 to Euchre right now, but that's there's still 5 games to make up.
Yeah, there's still much more games to make up. Let's see if yep, sticking with Termi.
He's got the leeway to do that, Even if he loses this one, it's still 2-0.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think people needed a little moment to, straighten themselves out, get the time down, whatever.
Let's hope he's not so he doesn't just throw out 6As, because the recovery on 6A is pretty big. Gotta be careful of just throwing that out.
It's very good, but I mean, Hazama has all the tools he wants to deal with that, and Euchre will be looking for those.
Oh wow! Oh wow! That was a good 2D, or just a good 5D. See, pressure doesn't block the low. PokeLegends has been really good at catching Euchre with these backdashes, but gets caught with another air grab. See? Oh.
Doesn't block the low this time.
Doesn't block the low. Thought he was gonna go for the high.
Yeah.
That's gonna hurt. Corner. Oki.
no.
Oh wow, good use of the barrier. Doesn't have to deal with the overhead.
Interesting beta tent.
Oh wow, he drops the combo. That could have been extremely dangerous if Legends went with the DP there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Rebel 2. Action.
PokeLegends has been doing really good on catching Euchre at round starts though.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Just needs to carry that momentum for the rest of these rounds. Right here. Oh, drop. These two have been dropping a lot today. 5C pressure. That's not real.
Come on.
Tries catching Poke with another air grab.
I mean, 5C's minus 1 maybe is the worst. Maybe you can't spam.
You can't just spam it, yeah. Ooh, that was a 5C counter hit. Wow, that was actually really smart by Euchre using Hotenjin there to, what is it, unburstable, and then use the next hit to kill.
Yeah.
That was extremely good decision making by Euchre there. See,
It's true. That was comfortable. That got a lot of it starts from Euchre's just better ability to maintain momentum from the hits he gets. So when he gets in the corner, even if he doesn't commit fully to Oki whatever, he just keeps him in the corner.
Yeah.
And uses air grabs as well, really well. Because you see PokeLegend is just trying to up back out of a lot of pressure, which is not necessarily a bad decision, but Euchre's just
Euchre has a way of calling it out, and it's kind of hard to, predict when Euchre's going to go for that as well. With a character like Hazama, chains move him so fast, so it's just like Poke isn't ready to react to that tech.
That's kind of the whole thing, where he doesn't have to. Hazama is very good at keeping people in the corner, which is something that I think is sometimes overlooked. Just in terms of, he can back out, he can go in, he can go out again, just because the ability is changed for him. So he doesn't have to be putting himself in dangerous to keep someone in the position he wants, and that's a good combo, I guess.
See, going back to his momentum.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, right there.
Up back for us.
Poke has been using barrier a lot, which is really good, pushing Euchre out of these situations. He needs to recognize when Euchre whiffs a button. Nice pressure, nice overhead. Forces out burst, catches another one with the air grab. That's like
you really gotta start taking this. Just barrier rest, you know he's gonna go for it.
Nice. Notice the 60 counter hits.
He keeps doing that. He keeps missing the BC's. Be involved in that.
The next hit from Euchre is going to kill. Yeah, doesn't block.
Yeah.
I would assume Poke was probably going for DP, probably messed up input.
Maybe he messed up DP input. Nothing else to really go for there.
Yeah. See, nice catch. Starting to go for an up chain.
Catch
the roll. That's gonna be a side switch. Knockdown. Okay. Nice DP.
There. That's why I went.
Gets the 6C knockdown. That was good.
Oh no. The one thing he does have here is, rather than just contesting his cheating, rather than just using it to get around it. Oh wow. Decent damage.
Doesn't want to spend OD. Wakes up 5D. Poke's saving burst. OD. Oh, gets caught by command grab super. Right there, I feel like Poke should have used the OD in that situation. OD would have definitely killed. Yes, you wouldn't have had it for the next round, but it would have at least guaranteed that
You mean
round.
Because the OD.
Oh no, OD before then, like for the combo.
Yeah, maybe. I think we maybe could even OD'd a little bit earlier, so we get a bit more time to build up meter and then finish it with 100 meter super. Because he could do a lot of damage when OD confirms.
Yes. Especially with what is it? Whatever the super is called, the half circle back forward D.
Yes, that's the one you want to end with. So
looks like
he's
gonna...
OD. The thing he's going to is a Biki. Okay, let's see.
Not a This is a pick where I think it's actually really good. I think Hibiki does have ways to keep up with Hazama in this matchup and has a lot of tools to deal with
So he
Hazama.
has the general mobility and speed that Termi has, along with extra tools that will help him in this matchup. He can do the same kind of, running undo Hazama or whatever that Termi can do. He can do the same kind of thing, but he has other options at his disposal as well. And, I mean, you can't really complain about JC.
Yeah, and you cannot complain about JC.
JC is
JC is
fantastic.
an amazing button.
So many ways to use mobility, and he does just throw himself for his clones out as well.
Clones are projectiling ball as well. Oh wow, went for the D1. If he went for his Zuna drop, I don't think Euchre would have been expecting that one.
Here's the anti-air, the stance.
This is gonna hurt. Oh no, not if you drop. Oh, American reset?
Ah yeah.
Oh, that is involved, gotta be careful.
Hibiki's DP, well of course having a DP is great. It's not the best DP in terms of in raw and hitbox. A lot of ways to get around it. Even just straight up make it force a whiff on it.
Yeah.
But in that case, he just used him.
Being really jump happy right now. Gotta be careful you're baiting with these command grabs. Oh man, goes for his Zuna drop. Nice pressure from Euchre. And corner.
There's another throw.
Drops the combo. Nice 6B. I didn't know it went over that.
Yeah, X-Ax will
Nice. He's gonna drop.
Box and wake up with the reverse. Yeah, that forward with the timing was down in
Oh, catches the up back again. Let's see, is that 4-0 Euchre?
Yeah, you could speedrun this. Okay,
PokeLegends really needs to calm down a lot of those situations where he shouldn't be up backing. He should really just, play it safe and,
I get
read out.
I get paid by the hour here, so we should slow it down a bit.
Please select your character.
Just gotta tech throws. That's what you have to do.
Gotta tech those.
Blaze Blue is a game with a throw system that allows that. It's one of the safest ways to tech throws in almost any game. You can call it out, but the fact that you can do barrier rest in a lot of games, when you try and tech a throw, you are committing to the throw yourself. So if they don't throw, you come up and throw it quick, and then you can get counter hit for it. In this game, you have the option when you up back, you just barrier rest it. So you just hold down ABC.
Yeah.
And if they try and throw you, you get a tech. If they don't throw you, all you do is just tap barrier. And that's just, Euchre is just abusing that, and that's where a lot of the rounds get carried from. So no matter, PokeLegends cannot get out because he's getting air throw, and he gets put in those situations through air throws. So that's really where it's all coming down to.
Let's see. Yeah, it's just Euchre's abusing that knowledge, that misknowledge of not knowing that. Good JC.
You gotta abuse that as well.
Good combo. Gets the Zuna drop Oki.
So it's somewhat safe, but decent combo as well.
Oh, gets caught with a 5A.
Not what he wanted.
Wow, right there, getting caught jumping.
Falling into everything.
Nice DP.
Works this time. Yeah. 5 D 6 Ds. If he's traveling on the ground with those clothes, you can in the air, he can just
Knockdown. Oh, tries going for some kind of reset. See both players with OD slash burst. Gets caught with another chain.
Yeah. Gotta also be careful, since he can hit you from any point of the screen essentially. Just gotta keep where your barrier, dash barrier, jump barrier, whatever. Just make sure you don't keep too often.
Oh no, gets hit by that counter hit, but you could drop the combo. Oh, doesn't get the dash B.
Oh no!
Ooh, that would have been
lucky there. I have no idea how they missed each other.
That was a word. Nice, not getting hit by buttons. Good burst, doesn't want to deal with that.
Oh no, that was meant to be a 5B. There we go, 5B carrying confirmed.
Oh,
good now. This is getting kind of sloppy, but this might be his chance. He has to take this absolutely. He has 100 meters.
Yes, he has 100 meter on deck.
Yep.
OD.
Yeah.
Oh no! It was too pro-rated!
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna kill.
He
Unless
should
Euchre
have
drops.
committed to sleeping much earlier.
But Euchre wants to end it with a grab.
He had that super would have killed quite easily. He doesn't least amount of damage. Just got greedy with that. Honestly, even just ODing into maybe like a 3C.
The OD 3C to that super would
Yeah, that's what I
would
expected.
kill.
But he
That
doesn't like
super's minimum damage is absurd. Okay.
Well, yeah. So if any of you are tuning in, well. Yeah, you missed it. No. We will keep going.
We will keep going.
First to wherever.
First to 100. Let's get it.
Let's go.
Actually, no, I got
Please
Spanish to
select
do
your
later.
character.
Oh no.
Let's see.
Hibiki
Sticking with
Kohaku.
Hibiki, I do think Hibiki is a much better pick for this matchup, though. Poke has been showing that he's been doing a lot better with Hibiki here. It's just he needs to keep his pressure going and needs to stop jumping and pressing a button. He's getting caught by too many chains.
So yeah, the problem with the chains is beyond that, jumping and pressing buttons, or even just jumping and not doing anything and not parrying and whatever. And not blocking in general. But the other problem is, all I did see his clones were good. You have to keep in mind that Hazem is going to play aerial most of the time, and he keeps throwing out 5Ds and 6Ds in really ill-advised places. And when Yuka's already in the area points, and not just a free punish, because there is a decent amount of cover
The
in that.
wheel of fate is turning. Rebel 1.
But honestly, using air clones I think wouldn't go amiss as well.
Oh wow, catches the 60 with 2C. This is gonna put him all the way in the corner. This is not what you want to start this game
This
with.
is 4K.
Oh. Block the overhead. Nice. I didn't know that worked. Wow. That was a really good combo from you. Command grabs too.
That's gonna put him close in there, of course.
Oh, rolls. Gotta be careful, throw it.
Yeah, Euchre is not gonna fall for a lot of rolls out. He's got his wicket down, he knows what to do with it. At some point, Hazma's office is scary. It's just, you protect, delete, protect whatever.
Gotta play a lot more safer. Oh, first, this is the first hit of 60. Nice 5B. See?
Good block.
Nice blocks. See, jumps out of situation. Oh wow, if only Euchre was a bit higher than that would have hit. See, 5B pressure, gotta be careful. Gets out of the grab.
Start of hand recovery on that is a little long. See, be careful when you use it. Euchre is just too close. Oh, that's risky.
You wanted Loki. Nice. See, it's not gonna kill. OD. Oh, throw countered. Probably tried pressing a normal button.
Yeah, I might start throwing out EA more because, Euchre knows he's being a bit more respectful when he presses E. And that's the point where you can throw out EA because, a lot of people in those situations are expecting an EA, so they'll jump back or whatever, or jump up or whatever. But when you start forcing that respect, that's when you can start taking the chance. And just throwing out things like EA, DP, whatever, just take some kind of risk on OD, even if you tend to keep disadvantage. Make them guess, don't just give them a free opportunity to press her. And he's going back to Termi again.
Back to Termi. Let's see if there's something that Poke learned to see, like, if there's something that he feels like he can do better with Termi compared to Hibiki.
I don't know how I feel about the constant switch arounds because I feel like anytime he tries to get some sort of momentum of any character, he switches back and he loses it all again. So I don't know if if this is really the best strategy, but he's giving it a shot.
Let's see what happens. Well, Euchre's been really on top of keeping his momentum and whatnot playing, but the only thing is, like, these drop combos are gonna hurt him in the long run, especially if he's fighting a character like Termi, where it's like, if he gets hit by one button, that is going to hurt.
Rebel 1. Action.
See? ATP, nice pressure. See? Lopez just running around pressing buttons. Gets hit by Rising Fang.
Which just jamming the air with grabbing again. I just think that grab is so often that works every time.
Knockdown, gotta be careful.
Again, you have to kind of respect that.
Nice blocks.
Like, you got out here, I assume. Like, tag people.
Playing it much safer this time. Oh wow, whiffs the grab and gets hit by the 5D. Another chain. He has to be careful with these chains.
Yup.
Rebel 2.
A character like Hazuma has a lot of screen control. Nice JD. Doesn't finish the combo though.
There's a classic block string. Empty now.
Catches the backdash.
Look at the back dash, but he catches the burn out. Now we're very risky, but
Oh, drops. Oh wow, just punished him for that.
we both should punish each other for that.
Fire chain. Knockdown.
Oh,
He has 100
hold
meters.
up there.
Counter super, no, no, Lecky, that's a bad idea.
But you'll die if it gets in the hit.
Oh, he drops the combo. That is a tight link with the 5D. Be careful.
Oh,
Oh, Euchre was ready to bait the burst. That's not gonna kill. Oh, that will though. Be careful pressing buttons against a character like Hazuma, especially somebody like Euchre. Euchre has his Oki on pat.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, when you're at a certain point, cause I see him doing a lot of things like whiffing GAs and whatever, and
Please
at that
select your
point, like,
character.
you know Yuka's looking for that. Because as long as you're at a certain distance away from Terumi, he knows there's no immediate threat.
Yuki
There's no
Terumi.
immediate thing he has to worry about. If he's in the air about 3/4 of a screen away, there's nothing Terumi can do that will immediately hit him.
Mm-hmm.
Unless he wants to throw out like an
Up
anti-air chain
the-
super.
The anti-air chain super. Hey
Yeah,
man,
unless
that
he wants to do that, there's nothing else, yeah.
hey, that anti-air chain super does hurt.
It does hurt, yeah. You when it whiffs. But, like, yeah.
It is unblockable. People do forget about that.
I like the thing about unblockable, yeah. The thing about chain super and counter super where it's like someone dies if it's used.
Yeah,
The wheel of
especially if it's OD,
fortune.
it's somebody's dying.
Rebel
Yeah, someone's dead.
1.
It's probably Terumi, but
He's playing a lot safer right now. Oh, he should have ran up 60.
he's trying to bait out a few things, but doing anything with it. And so you can just that.
Pops OD already. Gotta be careful, Euchre is just sucking his life out. Oh, doesn't get the knockdown.
And that's a 60, I guess.
Nice blocks.
5C number.
Nice. Doesn't get the...
Where's the easy first?
See? I guess the 60 knockdown. Nice blocks.
But it works. Could maybe use some meter on that.
Fuck that. He wasn't able to. Pop by chain. Yep. See, both players do have OD on deck. So Poke can use it for whatever OD or burst situation. That is something we haven't really seen Poke do that too much in burst.
I mean, I don't blame him to an extent because OD or Terumi is like is the thing that turns things around. That's kind of an essential tool he has, especially especially when burst locks are active flow, and these things are extremely important. Again, not quite successful as the V 6V for that.
Gotta be careful pressing
Can't
buttons.
just can't just fight over it.
Oh, he does have 100 meter and OD. Oh, that could be huge. Good burst. Nice 5A. Poke has been doing really good using these
Like
5A.
if I hold on to his OD, he better use it. He really has to make use of it. He's getting these doing anything. He's risked death to hold on to his wrist, and now he has to use it. He's gonna wait until he... Nice. Yeah. I think he was waiting for when he gets pulled towards him, but he was too damaged beforehand, and so he had no choice but to burst there and essentially hope he didn't confirm off that. He just he checkmated himself. I do respect holding on to the OD though, but he had to use it on one of those confirms he got.
Yes, he
To make use of it. Because right now he gets a hit and he gets it into like 2k or something, because that's what Termi does off like perfect hits. Like hits at a slight distance, just completely kills his damage potential. You really want to get OD on point and make use of it. Turn one of those smallest confirms into a full
turn
OD Caesar finish.
turn something like 5C or like a 236D
Oh,
into
absolutely.
big damage.
Like 6k, like easy.
Termi will gain the 100-meter in that combo.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just a simple, slight air chain, J2D, and then the J2D loops.
Yeah.
And then you got yourself on the Mio.
Action.
Pokemon's been doing a little bit of catching though with these 5 days though. That was a good max hit confirm. Nice block. Oh, catch the grab. Taking the grab, nice. Let's see. Oh, goes for the reset with the command grab.
That's what he does. Even when he retreats to right midstream, he's still keeping that on the spot or land in a way to change.
Oh, this can hurt. This is active flow as well. Nice, just wants to spend the meter. Right there, Euchre lost about like 70 meter from that.
Yep.
But lost 7k as well. Oh, command grab.
You got enough meter.
Oh no, no. Oh, catch it. Let's see. Oh wow.
That was almost a choke.
Ooh-wee.
Chance you should have killed, but you made it anyway.
That was a really good comeback though from PokeLegends.
Oh, he didn't use it. Because there's 0 ways to use it at the same time.
Let's Pokemon Legends in the corner. Does have burst. Oh.
Grab.
You choose it.
No, sir. We're not at that level.
We are seeing Euchre very up though, what he does in the game. PokeLegends, I think, tried getting used to trying to attack in the air with like air grabs, but now Euchre's varying it up with like buttons.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So you're seeing that a lot of the situations where PokeLegends is now getting counter hit.
Yeah, but as you said, you just play it safe a lot of the time. Barrier OS.
Barrier OS. Read what's going on in the situation. Oh wow, that was a really good confirm.
Oh, absolutely.
The 5C was too.
Constantly getting at you by those chains as well. I don't know if I prefer them, but good stopping and getting in.
Yeah. It's gonna hurt. Counter hit chains hurt because we know a lot.
Oh, he just ran away from the 60.
Wow. Nice. 5C counter hit. It's 2-3-60 knockdown.
To be fair, you could let him do it. Get much out of
Nice. Euchre does have active flow, so once OD is ready, he will be able to kill. Oh, Pokemon pops OD.
He just 5Cs there. I don't know. I guess he was just for head and ball, but it's not gonna happen. The thing is, like, the reason you want to do things like, Pro OS and whatever is, even if you're not gaining much from it, you want to start essentially from the safe option that covers the most options.
Yes.
And when you set that baseline, that's when you can start calling them out on things and start reading them on that. But but if you're taking gambles, complete guesses on every decision, and the risk is getting countered every time you're getting thrown, then that's just the risk reward does not go in your favor. But if you start having a situation where the worst case scenario is you just block him, who cares? It's fine.
Just block. Just make sure you know your block. Poke has been pushing out Euchre a lot, where Euchre does have to you know, air dash in or dash in, if Poke's able to notice those situations are happening and say like, you know, throw out a 6A or throw out a 5Z.
Yeah, I could you see like, because he knows PokeLegends is kind of expecting it, so he's not trying to bait or anything. Hasn't of course has the potential to bait out in this situation, but if he's just air dash again with nothing else, just the kill.
Oh wow, catches him with JB.
Yeah. He actually hits this time. Next once. Kind of sort of combo. Bootlegs at the end.
Nice pressure.
Max out one.
You can put him in the corner if he drops it. Nice block. Yoki gets caught by the air. Come on, doesn't finish his plate. Gotta be careful, especially against a character like Jeremy. Oh wow!
That's the
Oh no.
Invul versus no invul. Oh,
He just lets it rip.
Yeah, so that's the thing where in that case 6A would work. So all PokeLegends is doing that situation whenever Euchre is IDing in or whatever, PokeLegends is either just standing there or jumping out. And if you start anti-airing those things, they goes for air grabs, he's getting it, and that's your chance to get out and get it. Not quite enough adaptation.
It's pumped like that.
I would say half fast. Got a half hour.
Oh, yep.
Oh no, sick up. Don't know what he's trying to do there.
Oh, it gets caught over it.
Oh no, that's it. Yeah. Well, we got a half hour.
We got our half hour pay.
We got a half hour. Okay, first 50.
But in that situation though, it is hard to like decide when you should burst, especially against a character like Cosmo, where it's like a lot of his confirms are going to be putting him in a situation where I just can't burst this right now because of where
exactly.
Cosmo is with chains.
He has a lot of burst save points in his combos where so you're kind of having to weigh up when you need to do it. But of course, the other problem there is there's only certain points where you're close enough to Hazama, and that makes your burst points predictable in that sense as well. That is the problem that happens there. But yeah, it was good stuff. I think I haven't got to see too much of PokeLegends play. I've seen him in a few stream matches, but I know he's working on stuff. He put on a good show. A couple of nice adaptations he made, but in terms of defense and just the general way he dealt with throws from Euchre was really what made the main difference here.
That was still a good showcase though of both players. We did see some of the things that PokeLegends was doing, like catching Euchre out with say like a 5A when he was doing chains. His 5Cs had even though there were a lot of 5Cs, a lot of the 5Cs were really good, and he did try getting some mileage off of them when they weren't hitting him.
I feel like
extremely high up.
5C is a bit of a scramble button.
It is.
That is a lot of situations where like you kind of press 5C and you don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. But yeah, I think with both his Terumi and his Sabiki, he has a general idea. I think there's a couple of things. If Sabiki, I think, just generally throwing out some less than safe options. He does a Terumi as well. So if Hibiki, he was throwing a lot of 5Ds and 6Ds in places where Euchre is in the position where he's a bit too close enough, and he's in the position to punish it very easily, especially with how much time he spends airborne because he's Hazama. So he's getting counter hit a lot on startup or in recovery of his clone moves.
And he threw out a lot of 6Bs with Hibiki, which isn't a bad button, but the problem is you can't just throw out a 6B, especially like in combos. You have to recognize the situation where like, oh, did my 5B counter, did my 5B hit you crouching? Okay, then I can go for a 6B combo.
Exactly, yeah. And then with Terumi, it was a similar thing with just generally his use of air buttons. While in some ways Katsuhiko was good, I feel like he didn't use them as well defensively in neutral situations. So when Yuko was using chains to approach, you could see him maybe try and like intercept him with an air normal or something, but he just didn't get the timing on it. And Euchre, while he started with a lot of air grabs because they were working, he was prepared to mix it up and start throwing in air normals. And what you have to do in that situation is just reduce the risk to you by having a safe response to those options. Have the safe option, and then from there you can try and call him out. But he was just getting so much of the damage and so many of the rounds were as a result of air throws or counter hits, air counter hits.
Mm-hmm. That was the
And just-
problem for that.
Yes. And when he gets the knockdown, then what he does is, you know, he can just do a bit of pressure. He can back off. He can go back in because he has his air dash, his chains. He can back out, back in again. So even when he's, you know, standing almost full screen away, he's still keeping you in the corner to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
It's well spaced chains, just a good height as well. So it's a JD at just the right height, so you can just catch him up backing as well. It's very hard to deal with in that situation.
It is.
But there we have it. That's a 10 out to Euchre. He wins. I guess he gets some of his own money. I don't know.
He's taking part of our pay.
Yeah.
I always thought that was a good showcase, though. We did see some good Hosmo. We did see some clutch moments though from Poke though. That was nice though. That was nice.